Death penalty. Really a bad thing for us. Life is a gift from God. That's why He is the only one who has the power to take it from us. Not yourself, not the others, no one, even your loved ones. Living in this world, the most precious gift that God could probably give us. That's why we humans must treasure it truly in our hearts and live it to the kindest and fullest as we can. But what if a life can be ended just because of a law? That's what we call death penalty law. Are you one of those who's agreeing on it or one of those who's against on it? Death penalty, also known as capital punishment law, is a practice where the government kill people as a punishment for making a crime. Lethal injection, electrocution, lethal gas, firing squad, and hanging are kinds of execution that are used by the law, while rape, kidnapping, and murder are kinds of crime that are punishable by the proposed death penalty law. Well, we all know that here in our country, in our world, that as time goes by, it changes a lot. Especially in our country, there are things that got better. Also, there are things that got worsened. Examples are the attitudes of some Filipinos and their human relationship. There are still people who care about others' life, but also there are people who's not. That's why I'm sure that if there will be a poll about making death penalty as a law, then it will be a really big agreement and discussion for our government and us citizens for it to be done. Death penalty has been a really talk about issue, not just here in our country, and also around the globe. India, China, Japan, even the United States are an example of countries that have death penalty law. Death penalty is a practice of violence that the governments think that is the key for another violence. That's why death penalty, for short, violence for violence, which I think is inappropriate for the Philippines, who is the only Christian nation in Asia because of having more than 86% population of Roman Catholic people. Do you care? Do you care if someone dies because of being punished by a law? Maybe if you don't know the person, then you will just ignore it. But how if that person is one of your loved ones? Then I'm sure that you will fight for him or her. That you will get mad at the law, even on our government. And also, what if someone dies because of your misconception? Then, what will happen to that person that killed? If he was being killed already, then there's no more going back. There's nothing we can do about that. It's like you kill a person because of your wrong thought. Just like some of the stories and movies that we can watch. An example is the male lead role. The male lead role in a Korean drama where series named Two Worlds that condemned to death because of false accusation. But the thing is, he got saved from it. We know that people are being punished by the government because of having and doing bad things. Bad things that maybe they really don't want to do, but because of poverty and some other problems, make, make them to do it. And also, what is change and chance all about? What is change and chance all about? If just because of the judgment by the government, one life will come to an end. What's more heartbreaking about is that God is not the one who will decide whether he will end one's life. Instead, it's on the hand of the government. And as the others are saying, when they do wrong things, we're just humans. We're just humans, so we're prone in making errors. That's why it's really heartbreaking. And chance to live is just once. That's why if it's ended, then there's no more going back. No one is perfect in this universe except for God. Except our God. Even in things, there's no perfect. And for me, that penalty is also not perfect at all. I think it's a big mistake that will lead to another big mistake. And also, even in our government, there's no perfect. Just like the corrupt politicians. Oh my God. And also, as I said, only God is perfect. Even the death penalty law, it's a mistake that will lead to another mistake. we're prone in making error. But for me, if we will be as one and help each other, then it can be the key, not a death penalty anymore. Also, I believe that they just need love and instruction. And if we will show that to them and give that to them, then they can change. They can change to be the best version of themselves. I know it will become unfair for the family and people who lost someone or something. But let's remember that one of our God's commandment is not to kill. And let's not put on our hands the decision to kill someone. Instead of death penalty, instead of killing, life imprisonment is way better. And as I said, violence is not a key. Let's just leave to God's decision on what will happen to the accused. And what we can do is to pray for our safety and others' safety. And be wise so that bad things can never be happen again. Also, just to inform you all that not all victims want revenge. Sometimes they just want others to know what happened to them and to inform them so that they can avoid happenings and learn from it. Some countries made the death penalty as a law because they think that it will lower their country's crime rate. But until now, there is no evidence that it really lowers. That there is no evident effect and when it comes to lowering the crime rates. Instead, there are cases that countries who don't have death penalty as a law has lower murder and crime rates, rather than countries having the death penalty as a law. The death penalty is a big sin to our God. Also, it is against the highest form of our rights, which is the rights to live. To live the life that God gave us, which is given for us. I'm not underestimating our government, but I think justice is too far away from our hands, especially on people who are lack of money. And I think people who have the money are only the people who got the proper rights. And also, I think that some of our government officials are controlled by money. That's why justice is really far. It's really far. That's why I think instead of wasting time and money and arguing with making that penalties a law, why we don't just use that to solve environmental problems, health issues, and some other issues for our country. And also, we can use that to make our government more stronger by dissolving our corrupt officials. We think to approve the death penalty as a law because we're thinking for a better country, not just lowering its crime rates. But not really a great solution at all. Because aside from that, it's against human rights, it's also against our God. And as one united country, as a Philippine citizen, we should care for each other on what others are doing. Is what they're doing is good for our country's development or not. We people just want a peaceful and fine life. And for me, approving death penalty is not peaceful at all. And I think death penalty bring darkness to our life, especially on children's. They say kabataan ang pag-asa ng bayan. But do you think we children can really be the hope if the life that we get to see and used to be is violence? I don't think so. If the death penalty will be approved, then I'm pretty sure that most of all our medias will having a news about the death penalty. And also on television where all people get almost influenced by it. And I think harassment on the eye of the children can't really help the country's development and to bring hope. Kung ano nakikita nila no bata ay yun ang gagawin nila paglaki. As all elders, what actually say. And again, life is important. That's why care for it. Care not just for your own sake, but also for others. Also, life is a gift from God. That's why we should not abuse it. And also, it's a gift, that's why we should treasure it. We only live once, so do things appropriately. And you have your own life, so take full responsibility on it. Again, life is a gift. Then, don't let it to someone's hand. Don't let someone to control that life. Take full responsibility on it. And also, don't let its valuable gift come to an end. Come to an end because of a law. That's what we call death penalty law. Again, thank you.